company said it was assessing the impact of the suspension of its affiliate Ant Group's dual listing that was to take place on Thursday. And staying with that story, investors are to be paid back more than $167 billion in what is the world's biggest refund in history. This after the last-minute pause of what would have been the world's biggest IPO of China's Ant Group. I've been talking to Professor Liu Baocheng, Dean at China's University of International Business and Economics, and Rich Turin, the author of Cashless, China's Digital Currency Revolution. I asked them what was behind this dramatic pause.
Regulatory changes. Everyone knows that Ant lives in a world of changing regulations, and right now it finds itself amidst a rather large change that changes how it has to reserve for all of the loans that it arranges on its books. So at present, it only has 2% of the value of all of the loans that it originates in reserve. And with the new regulations coming, Ant will have to potentially reserve up to 30%. So Ant is living in changing times and is going to cope and will cope perfectly with the changing regulations around it.
Professor Liu, the watchdogs have told Ant that it must comply with increased capital requirements brought in at the start of this month amid seeming concern about massive high-risk lending. It is massive high-risk lending, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is, because for the last few years, the financial derivatives are on the rapid rise within China, with the P2P type of lending and with euro rate type of interest, and also the platforms overlending itself. So it is really a concern for the Chinese regulators to ensure the financial stability and also protect those investors' interests.
Richard, the Chinese regulators have increasingly expressed their concern at the vast loan books being built up by largely unregulated financial technology companies such as Ant, and that fear about the lack of regulation is significant, isn't it?
Sure. Regulators are very sensitive right now to loan arrangers and non-bank institutions who take fees for putting together loans and loan books, but do not necessarily share in the gain or the loss of that loan book. So, yeah, it's a significant issue right now, and one that regulators are rightly concerned about, but I would say extra concerned about because of their recent experiences with P2P loans.
Professor Liu, how much is this story about a generational culture clash between the old financial world and the new financial world?
Chinese regulators are learning very fast. They are taking breaths really to catch up with the newest development. Over the past 40 years, actually, Chinese regulations over foreign investment in China, over international trade, etc., they normally are retrospectively reflecting what is happening, what is the social impact, and what is the financial impact of a certain new phenomena. And also that, there are three types of regulators in China over the listing. So they also need to coordinate in a, I should say, in an old-fashioned way, but in a more responsible way to come up with the right sustainable development program that can really contain the excessive loan program by those new fintech companies.
Richard, what happens next here? Does everyone just dust themselves down and in a few months carry on?
Absolutely. Look, Ant is already back at work, and what they're going to do is they're going to take the plan, go back to the drawing board, look at the new regulations, comply with them, and rewrite their business plans to keep on operating. Look, you have to understand that the loan book for Ant is about 39% of their business. So 60% of their business is absolutely unaffected and going strong. There is a big part, or a material part, that is going to be affected by these regulations. So go back to the drawing board, redo the calculations, and on my bet is that within 6 months, you're going to see them back at the IPO table. Ant is a great company today, was a great company yesterday, and in 6 months' time will be even a more fantastic company. So no problem for Ant. They're going to keep at it.
Thank you both very much indeed for talking to us.